Okay.
Okay. So I'll be reading. We asked the devotees just to listen like we did yesterday. And I'll be reading something from Srila Prabhupada on Lord Nrsimhadev. Okay. Umagyantimirandasya ginajana salakaya chaksun militam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pucharine Nirvishisa Sunyavadi Astyatya De Sutarine Panchakalpatarubhischa Kripa Sindhupe Vachapatitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Panchakalpatarubhischa Kripa Sindhupe Vachapatitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We'll be reading some letters Prabhupada wrote to devotees about praying to Lord Nrsimhadev. So this is Prabhupada's letter to Janarati, letter January 13th, 1968. When Prahlad Maharaj saw Lord Nrsimhadev, he was not at all afraid of the fierce features of the Lord. Now, we heard a question yesterday how the demigods were very fearful when they saw both confused and fear. But Prahlad Maharaj was not at all feeling any fear or any discomfort in the presence of this very ferocious manifestation of the Lord. The Lord had appeared in a very wonderful way. One of the names of Lord Nrsimhadev is Adbhuta. Adbhuta means wonderful. So we also call it, we also say Adbhuta Shringa. Means one of his names is he's referred to as being the most wonderful. The form is really amazing. It's one of a kind. It is fraught with various types of moods of ferocity. And it, for a devotee who's fixed on the lotus feet of the Lord, it's the worshipful Lord. For the non-devotees, now even we see the demigods are devotees, but they're Sakama devotees. Sakama means they have material desires. Therefore, they're not always fixed on serving the Lord. Although they are they do great service, but at the same time, they still have material desires to have the position of being a demigod. So when the Lord appeared and he was ripping apart Hiranyakashipu, and then right after that, all the attackers of Hiranyakashipu gathered up and started to charge at Lord Nrsimhadev. There's a nice picture of the Lord is just ripping them all apart with 16 arms. Then, of course, they're lucky because they get killed by the Supreme Lord and therefore they get liberation. The big jaws and nails of the Lord. You can say teeth also, Rajanaka, Rajadamstra. The fiery tongue of the Lord, And the gigantic lion's head did not create any fear for Prahlad Maharaj. He said, "My dear Lord, I'm not afraid of your fierce features, but I'm afraid of repeated cycle of birth and death and material existence." So this instruction is very valuable. In our material existence, we are always in a dangerous, fearful condition. But by the spell of Maya, we do not take it very seriously. Material energy is precarious. In other words, it may act in so many different ways that are unexpected. All of a sudden there's calamity, all of a sudden there's war, all of a sudden there's an unexpected situation that comes that puts one into a difficult situation, maybe even life-threatening situations. Just to live in this world with this very frail and easily destructible material body is a great chore. We see how easy the body can be harmed and destroyed very, very easily. So this material world is a dangerous, fearful condition. Padam padam yadi padam. The verse explains that every step there is danger. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati used to say that the material world is no place for a gentleman, which means that it's a place where persons who have good intelligence and are refined in the qualities of a human being will not find any kind of satisfaction and happiness in this world, because they see it is fraught with dangers, it is fraught with disappointments, it is filled with the unexpected. It is a place that at any time one's existence can be snuffed out and within seconds. Just like I would remember, I was sitting in my place in Croatia back in, I remember the date clearly, it was March 22nd, March 22nd, 2020, just on the brink when coronavirus became a pandemic. I was in the morning, I was chanting my rounds, walking back and forth in the area of my room. And all of a sudden, the whole building started to shake. Pictures started flying off the walls, smashing to the ground. Glass was breaking. Then I hear this voice calling, "Maharaj, let's go, earthquake." So immediately we somehow got out of the building before it became too bad. And we went outside and took shelter on the ground in the car. But who would have expected, at least I didn't, all of a sudden there was this big earthquake, and later we reported 8 people died in that quake. So yeah, all of a sudden a person is walking along the street, a building starts to crack, pieces fall off. One 15-year-old girl was just hit on the head with a falling piece of the building, and she died immediately. Cars were smashed to smithereens. And all of a sudden, everybody's world was turned upside down. This is material energy. That's just one of the many things, and there are dacoits, thieves, people who are always out to cause trouble for others. You don't really care for what you eat or how you take care of your personal self. You could get a disease, you could get sick, you could be bedridden. Dangerous place. Dangerous place. But because we are okay, we feel like we're okay, everything's all right, we don't take this Maya seriously. Therefore, Prabhupada's making this point in this letter that we should take shelter of the Lord each and every moment, because otherwise there is nothing that can keep back the power of material existence except the Lord. So we are protected by the Lord only. Our guns, our nice secure buildings, our good intelligence, our array of family members, none of these things can save us from the imminent danger that comes by material energy. So therefore one has to take shelter of Lord Nrsingadev. Bahir Nishringo Ridahe Nishringo. Wherever I walk, wherever I go, Lord Nrsingadev is there. So this is a dangerous place, and I'm sure each and every one of us who are sitting here today listening could probably narrate an experience in their own life where all of a sudden there was danger, there was calamity, there was the unexpected. That's just the way the world is. And one can never say they are safe in this material world. Safety means the lotus feet of the Lord. All right, Prabhupada goes on to read another letter to another devotee. This is to Uddhava, same year, 1 month later, February 16th, 1968. After killing the demon, Hiranyakashipu, Lord Nrsingadev was pacified by Prahlad Maharaj, who offered prayers and hymns that are very instructive. Prabhupada goes on to say, I shall be preparing these for you in my Srimad Bhagavatam. I will now recite one verse. O benevolent Lord, benevolent Lord, friend of the fallen, O tender-hearted one, bound by my own karma, I've been thrown into the midst of these demons who are destroying everything of your devotees. I'm therefore extremely adverse to the unbearable and terrible miseries of this cycle of birth and death in this world devoid of service and devotion to you. O Lord, when will you be pleased with me and call me to the shelter of your lotus feet, which are soothing like cooling beams of 10 million autonomous moons? Nice, very nice prayer. I'm bound by my own karma. Therefore, I'm being tossed by the waves of the material energy. I'm feeling complete misery, and I'm fearful of again taking birth in this material world. Please give me your shelter. These prayers, this prayer was one of the prayers in the 9th chapter of the 7th canto by Sri Prahlad Maharaj to Nrsingadev. He's safe. He's in the association of the Lord. The biggest danger that appeared in his life was his father's attempt to kill him repeatedly. Now that is all gone. His father has been killed by Lord Nrsingadev. But still, he's offering these prayers. I'm very fearful of this material existence. Therefore, if I take birth again, I cannot even conceive of something more miserable than that. Please give me the shelter of your lotus feet. In other words, bring me back to you. And then he refers to the Lord benevolent, friend of the fallen, Patita Pavana, and O tender-hearted one who is by nature compassionate. Therefore, please hear my prayer. So one of the 9 processes of bhakti is vandanam. Vandanam means to offer sincere prayers to the lotus feet of the Lord. We don't pray for to improve our material existence. Like many people in the material world, they think God is the water supplier, and then therefore he is God and he's all powerful, and there's things that I need and there's things that I want. So here's where I can get my desire satisfied. I should pray to the Lord for the things I need and want. And we get that even in the society of devotees. Sometimes people come to me and say, "Oh, Maharaj, pray for my child. He just entered into school. Please pray that he gets good marks in his, or please pray that he can enter into this very prestigious school. There's only so many people who are allowed in. I want my son to be there. It's a very nice school." Or people pray for so many things. Sometimes they pray that their enemies will be killed. They pray for all kinds of things, but these are not real prayers. And the Lord really doesn't respond to these types of prayers. He sends his representative, Lord Vishnu, to come and deal with these things. The Supreme Lord Krishna doesn't deal with these things. And so, but that is not a devotee. Prabhupada used to say, I would only ask one thing from my spiritual master: how can I serve you? Well, we can pray for other things also. We can pray as Prahlad Maharaj prays: give me shelter at your lotus feet. Give me attraction for chanting of your holy name. Give me the association of your great devotees. Give me the intelligence by which I can understand how to execute my devotional service that will be pleasing to you. Give me the qualities of a devotee, which I know will be helpful in execution of my devotional service. Anything that we pray for in devotional service is always beneficial because it leads us closer to Krishna. So Prahlad Maharaj is praying like that in this particular prayer here. So these are two letters given by Srila Prabhupada to his devotee. And we'll read a little bit more about Srila Prabhupada's statements on Prahlad Maharaj. These are not letters. This is an actual lecture by Srila Prabhupada. Let me see here. Okay. This is called the appearance of Lord Nrsingadev. The Nrsingadev feature was especially adopted for Hiranyakashipu. The powerful Hiranyakashipu took a benediction from Lord Brahma that no god or demigod could kill him, no man could kill him, no animal could kill him, and so on. And directly, he made a plan that nobody could kill him. First of all, he wanted to become immortal, but Brahma said, I am not immortal. So I cannot give you the benediction of becoming immortal. That is not possible. Rakshasas, demons, are very intelligent, but their intelligence is for sinful activities. That is the feature of the Rakshasa. So Hiranyakashipu planned, indirectly, I shall take a benediction from Lord Brahma in such a way that I will be immortal. Now, every soul is immortal. In other words, nahanyate hanyamane sarire. For the soul, there's neither birth nor death, nor having once been does he ever cease to be. He's eternal, undying, primeval, immortal, and he's not slain when the body is slain. He's immutable also. So that is the soul. And the soul is, but the demons want immortality within the present body to go on with their heinous activities. They think, I want to enjoy this material world, and I know death will stop my enjoyment. So let me make arrangements to do things to live longer. So the demons, they're always planning how to extend their life, either by protecting themselves in so many different ways. Because they have money, the demons are usually quite wealthy. They have exploited the material energy in others to get wealth in order to fortify their material existence and to control others. And now they use their wealth in order to somehow or other extend their existence in this material world, but that is not possible. It's a false concept. It can never be done. Everyone is allotted a certain time, and if one commits sinful activities, they shorten their lives also. So the demons usually don't live long, although they aspire to. We'll continue. In order to keep Brahma's promise, Narayan appeared as Nrsimhadev, half man, half lion. Even Lakshmi had previously not seen such a feature of the Lord. This Narayan Krishna is all-powerful. He can assume any form. Although Lakshmi is associated with Narayan, she had previously never seen such a wonderful feature of Narayan, so she was fearful. Yeah, this is interesting. Maybe he's a different person, she thought. Lakshmi is the most chaste wife. So how she could mix with a different person? Therefore, she was doubtful, because Brahman had encouraged her, go to see your husband. But I'm a chaste wife. I don't recognize, he's not my husband. This is someone else. Therefore, she was doubtful. Although she is supposed to know everything, still she was thinking, he may not be my husband. And then Prabhupada wants to make this point. This is the ideal standard of chastity. So speaking from another angle, he says that a chaste woman will not have intimate association with another man other than her husband. Lord Nrsimhadev appeared for two purposes: to kill Hiranyakashipu and to give protection to Prahlad. Prahlad said, actually, your appearance, your incarnation is meant for these devotees, these demigods. Demigod means devotee. There are two classes of men in this world. One is a class is a demigod, and the other one class is demigod. Well, who are the demigods? They're Vaishnavas. They are demigods. Demigods doesn't mean something extraordinary. Anyone who is a Vaishnava, a devotee of the Lord, is a demigod. That is the statement of the literature. Vishnu Bhakto Bhave Daivam. Daiva means Devata, demigod, Surata Viparyaya. And those who are atheistic demons, they are just the opposite. They are never devotees. So there are two classes of men in this world. So this point here is very important. There are always going to be two classes. There's never going to be a time when there's no demons. And there will never be a time when there is no devotees. Only at the end of the cosmic creation when it's all annihilated. But as long as the creation is still within its time period, there will always be these two classes of persons, demons and devotees. And demons, they also have their planets. They're situated below the earth, right? Sometimes they are invisible planets. They're not even seen, but they exist. Demons have mystic power. Many of them can fly. Many of them can change their forms. They have a lot of power. These are the real powerful demons who exist in planets outside of the U.S. Outside of the present world we live on, the present Earth planet. Prabhupada goes on to say, sometimes the number of devotees is more or less, but in the material world, the proportion of the demigods, Vaishnavas, is never greater. There are always fewer. You cannot expect that the whole population of the world will become Vaishnavas. That is not possible. Mostly they are demon atheistic. So this is another point to ponder. And most people in the world are of the atheist or demoniac mentalities. Some are demons, and some are influenced by demoniac qualities. The demons are actively against the Lord, and they make plans to exploit the material energy, exploit people, and to find ways to create propaganda to say that the Lord does not exist. That is a demon. So Prahlad, his first appeal was to the Lord. My dear Lord Nrsingadev, your appearance is for their protection. Now you have killed the demon, my father. Now your business is finished. Now you become satisfied, because you have no other cause for being angry. Narasimha is groaning in anger. And the demigods were afraid to approach him. But Prahlad Maharaj first appealed to him. My dear Lord, there is no need of any more groaning. You become satisfied because your appearance is for the protection of these demigods. They are not disturbing you. So the demigods are getting scared. And this way he began his prayers in a very nice, simple, childlike way. There was no Vedanta philosophy, just the simple truth. So this is these are how Prahlad Maharaj, although only a 5-year-old boy, recognized the Lord, spoke in such a way that the Lord actually became pacified, destroyed the anxiety of the demigods, and satisfied Mother Lakshmi, and satisfy everyone with his prayers of devotion to the Lord, which he prays to the Lord in various ways, ending with that he wants to be an instrument for the Lord's mercy to preach Krishna consciousness in the material world. Okay, so this is the end of this particular lecture that Srila Prabhupada, this is from a lecture in Hawaii, March 24th, 1969. So we get to hear a little bit more about Lord Nrsingadev. Any questions?
Thank you, Guru Maharaj, for highlighting really the value and the importance of this life. And one thing for me which I could take from this was very important, that how to pray to Lord, not for material gains and desires, as then Krishna will send his demigods or somebody to fulfill. But if we want direct association of Krishna, we should pray like Prahlad Maharaj, so we could have his shelter and attraction to his lotus feet, to serve him and his devotees nicely. And also, as Prahlad Maharaj asked, should look for association of devotees. So then we can really stand out in that, otherwise we are like demons. So thank you. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I request everyone first, please switch on your videos. This is a great opportunity. Today is Sunday. Everybody in relaxed mode. Hopefully, no office or work-related pressure. So, so no excuse in that way. And if you have any questions, any comments, any suggestions, please unmute
Hare
yourself.
Krishna.
You can write in chat window. You can
Hare
raise your
Bol.
hand. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the lecture. Please accept my humble obeisances. All the glory to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. I have a couple of questions. One is about difficulties on devotional service, how to keep on and yes, to keep on in spite of difficulties.
Okay, how to keep going despite difficulties? Well, we should understand that as long as we're in the material world, there's going to be reverses and difficulties, even if you're a devotee. You see the example of Srila Prabhupada. It was very difficult for him to leave India, travel over on the ship, come to a foreign country, not knowing anyone without any money, and having to try to begin a worldwide movement. And in the process of doing all that, he met with so many difficulties and reverses. But he stayed fixed on Krishna, prayed to Krishna for Krishna's guidance, took shelter of Krishna, had faith that Krishna was there to help, and continued on. So difficulties will come. That's just the way the life is. There's always difficulty. We get up every day. And sometimes they come in a big way and stay for a long time. But we should remember that Krishna is there. And if these difficulties are things that block your enthusiasm or your activities in devotional service, then Krishna will automatically help you overcome these difficulties. And he will do it in different ways, depending on what he thinks is the best way. One of the ways to stay free from difficulties is to have nice devotee association. In devotee association, then we always get support, help, and association with devotees. This helps to stop the difficulties that are created by the mind, because the mind will create difficulties even if there isn't any. And when we have association with devotees, we can somehow or other bypass that restless mind that is always complaining about something. Yeah, we can also learn in association of devotees how to execute devotional service. We can learn the philosophy. The devotee association is good, but we should also see what Prabhupada was saying in these verses, or in these presentations that we did today, is that Prahlad Maharaj was praying. So it's about prayer also. Sincere prayer. Why do we find it too hard to pray? Because maybe we think, well, I can figure it out myself. I don't need to pray. Sometimes we don't even think of praying. We just think of working with the situation and overcoming it. So prayer is and when it's sincerely given, that is, it's very powerful, and and results will come quickly with sincere prayer. If we're praying in a half-hearted way or in an inattentive way, then it may not result in any kind of solution to our problem. Sincerely pray, take the association of devotees, stay nicely engaged in the process of devotional service, especially hearing, chanting the glories of the Lord, taking nice Krishna prasadam, developing friendship in the association with devotees. We'll speak a little bit more of that today in today's Sunday feast lecture. So come to the Sunday feast lecture and we'll speak about that. We're going to have a question and answer session based around the benefit that we can gain from the association of devotees.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. I have another questions in connection with this topic. Can I ask or?
Yeah.
Concerning your advice, it's better to stay with joyful devotees. And can we consider, that we need the joyful devotees, or should we stay, with every devotees and try to to pray Krishna maybe, and change our minds. Maybe our minds is not pure, is dirty, and we need more association with advanced devotees.
Yeah, well, if we can get the association of advanced devotees or like-minded devotees, you use the word joyful, but like-minded means those who have similar natures, which you can talk to, you can relate to, can have, you can converse really easy with such persons, becomes natural. Yeah, those we should seek out, but if you can't find such things or not available, then take the association with devotees, and then in that association practice Krishna consciousness.
Yes, thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you.
For
Thank
the
you.
answer. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Janava.
Hare Krishna, Raj Prabhu. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to all of the Vaishnavas. Maharaj, you've been talking a lot about prayer, and you shared some very wonderful prayers. And there's so many prayers, an unlimited number of prayers given to us by the acharyas, our acharyas. And I was trying, can you explain, please, what factors make a prayer most powerful and effective? Is it all down to sincerity?
Yeah, sincerely praying, not just lip service. You're actually meaning what you're saying. And when it's coming from your inner core of your existence, and then that is pure prayer then. Yeah, we can recite for the sake of exercise the different prayers that are given to us by the acharyas and the great souls in the Bhagavatam. There is a whole long list of different personalities who have offered beautiful prayers to the Lord. We can recite those prayers, and they're very powerful, and they're authorized prayers. And they also reflect a lot of what we want to say in our own struggle in Krishna consciousness. But aside from that, whenever we make a prayer, we should be very sincere in offering it, and not simply, we say just lip service.
Okay, thank you, Maharaj.
I give you an example. It's a very strong example. It's when Draupadi had been lost in the gambling match in the assembly of the Kurus. Now they wanted to take advantage of her. She had been lost by the Pandavas, and now the Kurus took ownership of Draupadi. Immediately they wanted to embarrass her, cause her great difficulty. So one powerful Kshatriya, the brother of Duryodhana, his name is Dushashana. He started to try to pull on her sari to disrobe her in public. She became alarmed and started to fight his attempt by pulling back on her sari. She was no match for this powerful Kshatriya. And then she realized that she needed help. And so with one hand on her sari and the other hand up in the air, she called to Krishna to come and save her. Krishna was in Dwarka at the time, and he was playing dice with his wife, Rukmini. Rukmini and Krishna both could understand Draupadi was in trouble and she was calling. Rukmini immediately turns to Krishna and says, your devotee's in trouble. Go save her. She's calling for you. Krishna says, let's play another game of dice. She's still holding on with one hand. So only when she threw up her other hand, both arms were up in the air, and she sincerely offered her prayers that I can't save myself, only you can. And then Krishna came and he incarnated as unlimited sari. And as hard as Dushashan pulled, all he was getting was a pile of sari that was mounding up on the floor of the assembly hall. And Draupadi remained fully clothed. At one point they gave up, realizing it was impossible. They were fighting against something they couldn't understand and couldn't defeat. The power of Draupadi's devotion to Krishna. No, that was an example of that. Although she was praying sincerely, she was still trying to solve her own problem. When we somehow throw up our hands and say, my dear Lord, it's you are the, as Prahlad Maharaj says, you are the tender-hearted one. You are the friend of the most fallen. You are the benevolent Lord. Please give me shelter at your lotus feet. This complete prayer of submissiveness and surrender to the Lord is completely pleasing to the Lord, and the Lord will satisfy his devotee.
Thank you, Maharaj. And does it make a difference which form of the Lord that you pray to?
Yeah. Which form are you thinking of?
I was just thinking, is it better to pray for some because they're seen as more merciful, or just whoever you feel is closer to your heart at the time?
I can tell you a personal story. It may not apply across the board, but it's an interesting story. It's not personal. It's something that was spoken to me. One lady, when I was living in Chicago Temple, she was being harassed by these ghosts. And it was quite severe and it was quite regular. And so she started to pray to Krishna to save her. But the ghosts just laughed and kept harassing her. She prayed to Lord Nrsingadev to save her. And the ghosts continued to laugh. And then she prayed to Prabhupada. As soon as she prayed to Prabhupada, the ghosts were gone. She told me that story personally. Now, I don't know if that applies across the board, but it's an example that Prabhupada is very close to us. And therefore, as Prabhupada used to say, any obstacle in your devotional service, I can kick it out immediately.
Wow. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, Prabhupada commands or has all the power of Krishna behind him.
Well, I shall be praying to him more now.
Pray for the right thing, though.
Yes, Maharaj.
Make sure you don't pray for something material.
Thank you very much, Maharaj.
Like you can pray, my dear Lord, please send a pujari to our temple in South London. That would be a good prayer. G.C. Gornitai needs a pujari.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Raj Prabhu. A wonderful question. Hare Krishna, Diptesh Prabhu. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisance. These all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, on the topic of prayers, as you mentioned, there are wonderful and exalted prayers with deep meanings from our acharyas and also great personalities in Bhagavatam. So if we are not in that mood, or if we are not, it's not about if, we are not elevated to that level of consciousness and their purity, in that case, can we offer those prayers to Krishna with sincerity, even if we are not in that mood of that prayer, for example, or that level?
Well, these prayers are authorized, or else they wouldn't be in the Bhagavatam. They're the best of all prayers. And they're coming sincerely from the person who is praying. Well, these prayers are powerful. If we repeat those prayers, obviously, with sincerity, there it goes. If the prayer, even though we're not on that level, if there's a sincere expression of that prayer by the acharyas or by the great souls, then that will be a best way to make an expression of that prayer. Again, it comes back to sincerity.
Okay, Maharaj. So thank you for clarifying that. Yes, sincerity is the key part. And Maharaj,
I can give you another answer to that, which may just completely destroy my previous answer. I'll just completely defeat what I just said. And Prabhupada used to say, first deserve and then desire. So you can take both of those answers and mix them up and see which one you like. First deserve and then desire. That's also there. So when we're making our prayers, we should also, we can offer prayers for the sake of offering prayers in order to glorify the Lord, to pray for added mercy in our devotional life, like that. So the deserve and desire prayer is more like asking for something on a personal level. Now that's another aspect of prayer that may be not pure. So I just threw that in there just to confuse you. Not really, not to confuse you, but to give you another angle of vision, that's all.
Maharaj, it is clear.
Okay.
And Maharaj, one other observation, which is always, I am struck with the moment of climax for me in the pastimes of Nrsimhadev and Prahlad Maharaj is that even all the inhabitants of all the planets for the 14 planetary systems, when they offer their prayers to pacify the Lord, he is not pacified. And even Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, and even Lakshmi ji herself does not want to approach him. and they plea and they reach out to Prahlad Maharaj to pacify the Lord. And for me, that is a climax for me, because I get very touched by that point. Is that shows the glorious and the magnanimity of a devotee, of your devotee, through which the reason Narasimha Dev incarnated in that form. And Prahlad Maharaj was fearless in approaching him and offering prayers, and it's so wonderful, Maharaj. I'm struck with wonder at that point, where everybody is offering prayers, glory, very beautiful prayers, and he's not pacified, and even Lakshmi doesn't want to approach him.
It shows the heart of the Lord. The heart of the Lord, the pure devotee sits in the heart of the Lord, and the Lord sits in the heart of his pure devotee. It's a very intimate and very mysterious relationship. It cannot be explained, but we can understand this is the nature of the Lord, how much he loves his pure devotee. And he says it over and over again, and many times. When Narasimha offended Maharaj Ambarish, and when Narasimha was praying for relief from the chakra of Lord Vishnu, the Lord said, I don't have the power to relieve you of my chakra. And he wasn't just saying that. He didn't. He said, only my devotee has the power. If he forgives you, then my chakra will stop. Otherwise, I can't do it. I'm controlled by the love of my pure devotee. It's a very, 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 very rare and intimate relationship that is available with the Lord. How dear the Lord is to his devotee, and how dear the devotee is to the Lord. When we know that, we want to become a devotee. We will do anything to execute our devotional service and purify our hearts so we can come closer and closer to that relationship.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare
Beautiful
Krishna.
questions.
Hare Krishna. Shridevi Mataji, can you hear me, Mataji, or others? Can you hear me? Is my sound quality okay?
It's a little low. Could be a little volume on your sound, that's all.
Thank you, Prabhu. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to your divine lotus feet. Thank you, Guru Maharaj, for another really wonderful lecture on Lord Narasimha and his love for his devotee. Guru Maharaj, I was struck by what you said in the lecture. You said instead of, us being in a constantly praying mood, we think, I can figure it out. I can handle it. I can deal with it like that. And I really struggle with this. And because I can't figure it out, I can't deal with it. I just go round and round and round in my head and get nowhere. But somehow it doesn't strike me that I should pray. I should ask for mercies. That thought doesn't come into my head. It's like the dog chasing its tail all the time.
Yeah, that's because of your conditioning. You're conditioned to try to solve your own problems. And maybe you had some success in the past, and therefore you revert back to that means.
So how to overcome this tendency and become actually humble and prayerful and beg for the Lord's mercy?
Practice. Remind yourself that this is the way, this is the platform of finding satisfaction and peace in life when we simply depend on the Lord in all situations. Not just what those situations are when we got some apparent problem, which it's apparent because a lot of times we create a problem, we think it's a problem, it's not really a problem. But all the time, in anything we do, we should be, praying to the Lord, please guide me, empower me, help me to overcome these difficulties for causing me to become less active in my devotional life. Practice. The habit is to try to solve your own problems. Now you have to create a new habit or a proper habit. Habit comes by practice. Once you practice something continuously, it becomes part of you. It's no longer something you have to think of. It's something that is just your natural reaction to a situation. Well, when you, just like you were saying yesterday, you were writing on you're walking down the street, you're writing, this man's riding on his bicycle. And then all of a sudden, you realize you couldn't do anything. Then you turn to Krishna. Before then, you think you can solve it. I mean, we should try to solve our problems, but at the same time, we should also turn to Krishna, both.
Also, Guru Maharaj, I would like to know if the times of the day has an impact on our Krishna
Ways of
consciousness.
thinking? Yeah,
Yes,
ways of thinking.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Yeah. Yeah, that's obvious. You can see that as you make comparison. You see how you think and act in one time of the day, maybe another time. Your eating of breakfast is not the same as your eating of lunch. Both are the same activities. One, you may just do it so you can get it over with and get on with your service. And the other one, you look forward to it and you think, I'm going to enjoy.
So that means the best time for Krishna consciousness, as we know, Krishna conscious practices is early morning and in the mode of goodness, 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. But the rest of the day, 10 to 6, is the mode of passion, and then after that, mode of ignorance. We still have to carry on with our activities.
These are effects from the modes. The best time for Krishna consciousness is right now. Don't look for a time of the day which is opportune. It's always every moment. That's what it means to be Krishna conscious, be conscious of Krishna always. Conscious of Krishna means conscious of devotion, the service I'm doing. That's also Krishna consciousness.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Continue with the questions, and I'm here. I'm just going to be doing one little thing while you ask the question.
So Hare Krishna, dear devotees, if you have any questions, comments or realizations, please, you can raise your hand now. Shridhar Mataji, is my voice better slightly? Sorry to, probably looks like some.
It's better, but there's slight static now in your voice.
Okay, some problem maybe I can't do now because I had to otherwise re-log in. So Sorry, Mataji. And sorry, everyone. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. We don't have any questions or any comment on the chat window also. But Guru Maharaj, just wanted to add my one observation that and related question that one thing which you mentioned in the class was one word Patit Pavan, and that reminds me when Sridevi Mataji was asking that question that natural humility, how important it is, because not artificial humility, because God or Lordship is really looking for our that patit nature, when we really feel genuinely from our heart that we are really falling down and we don't have any support system in this life except Lordship. I think that can be, Guru Maharaj, like one of the key important quality when we are praying to Lordship, in a true humble and surrendered mood, that nobody else left now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Patita Pavan, friend of the most fallen. Patita, Pavana means fallen. One who reached down to the most fallen and raises them up. That's a name for Krishna, Patita Pavana. Lord Chaitanya is called Patita Pavana Avatar. He is so full, he's so merciful, he gives everybody a chance to become fully Krishna conscious, no matter who they are. If they show a little bit of interest in Krishna, he fans that interest and inspires them to continue. That's Mahaprabhu. He is Patita Pavana Avatar. Mosamma Potita Pavana Napai Bayar. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Daya Koramoda Toma Pina Ke Dayalu. Dayalu, he's the friend of, he's very merciful. Namo Maha Vandanaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namani Gaura Triste. Namo Maha Vandanaya, he's most magnanimous, easily approachable, very merciful, and he has made the process of devotional service easy. Chant Hare Krishna. Krishna, 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 Krishna. Okay.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So, Guru
Make
Maharaj,
the
we don't have any questions. Should we close this?
Yeah, make the
Yeah, we'll
announcement.
announce. Yes, I will make the announcement. But yeah. So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees. There is a very great opportunity for all of devotees to have a get together as we have this Bhakti retreat, which is open for all the Guru Maharaj disciples, aspiring disciples, and also well-wishers. When this is from 24th June, Friday, to 27th June, Monday, Friday and Monday half day, Saturday, Sunday full, where this venue is beautiful Vedanta in Lincolnshire in UK. Who is going to be there? Of course, all the devotees associations and Guru Maharaj and His Grace Bhuta Bhavna Prabhu and His Grace Chiti Shakti Mataji and few other speakers and kirtaniyas. How we are going to have this session? We are going to have primarily Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10. That's a primary theme, but few other topics. Some fun, Harinam, Kirtan, demo of, as Guru Maharaj said, martial arts, and much more to be there, really. And if you have not registered, please register. It's open till mid of this month, but don't wait for the last day. If you have any question, any query or any things you would like to understand, you can reach out to me, you can reach out to other devotees. Shamlal Prabhu, Shamla Mataji, myself and others. And yeah, as Guru Maharaj said, like only thing which is really key in this age for us is devotee association. And I personally feel like absolutely best opportunity for us, because we cannot maybe do good service, but with association of devotee, pure devotee. And sorry Guru Maharaj, I'm taking a little longer, but when I was thinking about this announcement, I was thinking, if you don't mind, to say that, see, in Govardhan Leela, all the devotees were so happy that they could see Krishna for 7 days, 7 nights continuously. For us, like it's a great opportunity to have association of Guru Maharaj for 4 days, for like 3 nights, 4 days, absolutely in that. So really don't miss this great opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. My obeisances to all the devotees. Vancha Kalpa Tarubhascha. Kripa Sindhu Devacha. Hitanam Bhavanebhyo. Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha. Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.